So I did more purging this weekend. When I was in high school, I was a prolific writer. I wrote all kinds of stories, and as I was going through things in Tub City, I came across a tote that was filled with my old high school stories. Now, I haven't seen these things in 35 years. Also in high school, I was deeply into Dungeons and Dragons, so I have all these handwritten adventures. I've got charts and graphs and maps and handwritten adventures. What am I going to do with all these things? And we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of this stuff. I haven't looked at it in 35 years. You'd think if it really mattered to me, I would have looked at it once or twice over the years, but I haven't. So I just can't throw this stuff away. So what am I going to do with it? So I'm scanning it into the computer. It doesn't take any space in my house to have a copy of it up in the cloud. But it's taken freaking forever. But I don't know what else to do with it. I just can't throw it away. But it just feels like it's a terrible waste of my life scanning all this stuff in. Maybe someday I'll appreciate the fact that I did this. In other news, this weekend was the weekend for us to create our moving budget. So are we on track? Are we able to afford to move to Florida, or are we way, way off? So I'm going to tell you some of the things I accounted for in our budget. So first in the budget is the actual move. For that, we have two 8x16 pods with 2 months storage. That was $7,000. We also have a 20-foot U-Haul truck that will be filled with the things we need right away. So we'll stuff the pods and they'll go down into storage until, we're not sure how this is all going to work. We doubt we're going to move straight from our house into the Florida house. We'll probably move from here into our apartment and then from the apartment into the final house. So those pods will be in storage, but there's things that we're going to need right away, and that's what the 20-foot U-Haul truck is for. We'll drive that down, and that's going to be $3,000. There is $400 in moving materials, which is boxes and tape and bubble wrap and moving blankets, all that junk. And then $500 to cover food, gas, and hotel for the drive to Florida. Also in the budget, we need to get the New York house ready for sale. It'll need paint and carpets and various repairs. Now, I don't know how much all of that's going to cost, but I planned $5,000. There will be costs of various items once we get to Florida, so I accounted for those as well. For Florida licensing and registering the van, I'm expecting $800. It's pretty expensive in Florida. Restocking the pantry will be $400. Utility deposits, $400. Random things like extension cords or garden hoses or just, whatever pops up. $1,000 for that. Next is furniture. And Linda thinks I have this number way too low, but I have $2,000 for that. And finally, a cushion for anything that's unexpected. So $200 for that cushion. But wait, there's more. Linda wants to take the first year off from work so she can get the house settled and arrange for the doctors and dentists and everything else that's needed. Also, I plan to sell my New York car and then buy a car when I get to Florida. So I'll need a down payment for the new car once we get there. Now, I won't tell you how much all that adds up to be, but it's a scary amount of money. Luckily, we've saved around 85% of that in our budget. And I expect to get the rest of the money saved by meeting our marketplace selling goals. Now, we need a place to live once we get to Florida, and our financial advisor gave us a fairly restrictive amount to spend on a house. But we should be able to get what we need. When we sell our New York house, we'll be able to put the necessary 20% down on a Florida house. And there's some other schemes he's approved us to do involving a loan from our 401k if we need to bridge a little bit of time. Um, so the house will be taken care of. Now we're assuming that whatever house we get, it won't have a pool. Most of the houses we look at don't have any pools, so we'll have to add one. That's what we're assuming at this point. Even if you do a new construction, the new builders aren't putting pools in. You have to put the pool in yourself afterwards. So enclosed pools run anywhere from, I don't know, $50,000 to $60,000. You can really spend any amount of money you want on a pool, just depending upon what you want to put in it. Luckily, when we sell our New York home, we won't need all that money for the 20% down payment on the Florida house. So the money that's left over from the New York home will go toward getting that pool. Okay. I did some more work on the budget. For example, I figured out what our house payment would be, including estimated HOA fees and taxes and insurance. The budget includes a monthly car payment and a few other odds and ends. So our budget is now set, and I have a dashboard created to monitor our progress for the next 253 days that will lead us to move day. So with the budget completed, I need to continue working, getting our stuff to fit into 2 pods and a moving truck. We should be able to fit 2,700 square foot of house into 400 square foot of moving space, right? I think I better go back to purging.